Hey everyone, it is Mr. Boktai. Keep looking down at the IRC chat here for Let's Play Sanctuary, but this is part one of a two-part tutorial I'm actually shooting for you guys tonight. I'm actually going to show you some different techniques, different things to kind of make your Let's Play sound better. And you see I'm adjusting my mic. Hey, that's a key thing to do when you're actually recording your Let's Plays, because when it's on a nice swing arm like this with a swivel arm, you can quietly move your arm without it making too much noise here. But you'll notice this microphone, it's a Shure SM7B. It's about $354 US. There are several YouTubers that actually use this microphone, including Markiplier. There's a whole list, but it really does bring out the mid-range in your voice. And you don't have to have a pop filter. As you see right here, there's no need for a pop filter because it is a dynamic mic. And on a dynamic mic, that'll be the first thing we dive into is the mics here. On a dynamic mic, it's based off of a decibel level that comes into the microphone. So it doesn't have active pickups. And I know that's a lot of terminology, but basically active pickups means that the microphone is not on all the time per se. To put it in layman's terms, it waits till a certain decibel level has been reached, then it will actually pick up the audio. The next thing that we'll talk about right off the bat is there's two types of microphones that you will use while recording Let's Plays. One's going to be a dynamic microphone, like the Shure SM7B. There's other voiceover microphones that are out there. I plan on, I may not be able to do it right away after these tutorial videos, but I'll put a list up of the different type of dynamic microphone and then the other microphone that's called a condenser microphone. Condenser microphones are microphones that have the active pickup with a broader axis, let's say. Excuse me, I had some applesauce. Does that to me. Don't laugh. That have a broader axis. And the axis, when we're talking about the axis of a microphone, it's the area of how the microphone picks up. You think of it like geometry from when you were in school. You have an X, you have a Y, and you have a Z axis three-dimensionally. A microphone picks up those sounds. It picks up the three-dimensional sounds. Well, some mics, like this dynamic mic right here, is a broadcast microphone. Broadcast microphones are designed for radio hosts, TJ hosts, podcasts, voiceover artists, things like that, because they expect you to be within a certain angle, no more than 45 degrees to the side or above the microphone, depending on how you want to place the microphone. And you will hear that in the recordings that I will do later, because, and in fact, screw it. Let's not do it later. Let's do it now. So if I turn the microphone away from me, you notice that my voice gets a lot quieter and harder to hear because the microphone's axis is too far off here. But the moment I start turning it back towards myself, you'll notice that the decibel level, the volume of my voice increases. Same thing if I go up. As far as when we say up, that means pointing the mic down, actually. You'll notice that my voice still has a pretty good decibel level. That's because it has an axis right here where it's picking up the sound. And if I take the microphone and go like this, you'll notice as soon as it passes across my mouth, the decibel level's even higher. But then we get down here and we've got the same level of axis pick up here. But if we turn like this again and move it away from us, the axis is out of place. So that's a key thing to remember when doing your Let's Plays, especially when you get to a point where you're going to get like really loud or scream. Somebody like Jesse Cox or like Markiplier, or even like myself when I do my bye-bye. You'll notice I kind of back away from the microphone a little bit. That's so I don't overload the microphone. Because overloading the microphone is a bad thing, because you can cause it to peak. You can start getting distortion. Then no matter how much after audio processing that you do after your recording, it's not going to change it. It's not going to bring it down. It's not going to level it out. It's going to make it sound like crap. And you don't want that. You don't want that, period. So the other type of microphone that we're going to talk about, and then we'll get into the essentials of recording. And I can see my webcam's getting a little fuzzy here, so we'll try to straighten it up a little bit there. The other microphone we're going to actually talk about here, did I put it back in my drawer? I did. It's called a condenser mic. And this is what I started out on when doing Let's Play recordings and everything. This one has a fairly large windscreen on it. And the windscreen helps with a lot of the room noise that you may have, like hums and hisses and sibilance in your voice. And sibilance is the s and sounds that you hear when you're saying certain words that have a higher frequency to them. Also, it helps with what we call percussive impacts when you're speaking, impacts. So the pops and the poofs and everything like that. And another tip, just a side note before we get into talking about condensers here, is that when you're going to be saying like a puh word, don't say the puh word directly into the mic, because I'm going to give you an example. I am pronunciating a very specific word. You see how it has that, how when I'm directly into the microphone, it has a very strong. Now, pop filters do help that. And you can see right there as I was talking, because the sound wave came right directly out of my mouth, so it came right into the microphone. But if you get to where you pronounce certain words, I know I look weird, but when you're recording, if you don't have your webcam on, sometimes you can do it if you get really skilled, to be able to start pronouncing some of those p's and p and all those sounds out of the side of your mouth. And that'll help reduce the impact onto the microphone. So that way you actually have less of an impact, or eventually you'll get to where you can have the microphone. A lot of time when I'm recording, I'll give you an example. When I'm sitting here recording my Let's Plays, my microphone sits off axis either here or will sit off axis about right here. So that way when I'm talking and I have a bunch of p and s sounds and impacts to the microphone, they're not as great. They're just not as powerful. So we're going to end that discussion right there. There'll be more to come. This is tutorial number 1 of 2 that I'm shooting right now. We're probably going to do a whole long tutorial. I may even invite some guests from the Let's Play Sanctuary forums to talk about gaming rigs, talk about video editing, talk about all different other things other than microphones and audio themselves. This is something that I just happen to specialize in because I have done audio recording and audio engineering and audio editing a lot for broadcast. Oh, that applesauce and everything else, So I've got some background in it. I kind of understand some of the know-how. The second most important thing before we get into the next type of microphone is your room. If you're recording in a loud, noisy room, naturally you're going to talk louder into the microphone, and you don't want to necessarily talk louder into the microphone. And we'll get into that in a later discussion when we're actually talking. After we speak about condenser microphones. I know I'm all over the place. I have ADHD. It's a fault of our generation. A lot of us younger whippersnappers. But you don't want to always have to raise your volume level because your room noise is bad. I recommend, I'll grab something here for you guys. This is studio foam. Can you see it here? It's made by a company called Are You Lex, I want to say. A box of 32 pieces is $164 for 32 pieces. But if you take the time, like you save your money up, you buy some of this, this will actually help you reduce a lot of your computer fan noise. And if you've got a room, even if it's your bedroom and that's the only room you've got to record, if you put this in the corner that you're actually recording in, it'll help reduce a lot of room noise. Not only that, it will reduce your overall soundproofing in the room and your voice quality. Because you'll notice my voice quality is very clear. A lot of that is because I don't have echo, I don't have reverb from my voice from the room itself. Like if I clap my hands, you hear it's a very dead sound. There's no reverb to it. Best way to test your room acoustics to see if your room is truly soundproof or not, or if you need to invest. I mean, even blankets up on the wall. You see this right here? All this is a down comforter. It's put over a window to drain out the outside noise, but to help maintain my voice, because it's got a thick enough quality that it's going to keep my voice sounding good inside of this room. And if I wanted to record my high school band in here, by the way, I'm not in high school. I'm way past high school. But if you wanted to record your high school band in here, you could, because this room has been completely designed and engineered to be soundproof. And in fact, I'm going to try to do this without making you guys motion sick. I want to kind of show you. You see this corner here, except for that nasty stuff? And there's pictures I have on the forums and I have on the website. Well, I shouldn't say website. I should say maybe my Facebook or my Twitter account or even my Instagram. And in fact, you know what? Yes, there are pictures. So there's pictures on the Let's Play Sanctuary under Tech Corner where this is posted under Show Your Setups. You can see my room once it's been properly isolated and soundproofed for recording in this area. And the reason that it's set up like it is because best way I can tell you is I found the nice little application right here on my phone. Yes, by the way, my background is awesome on my Android phone. And because I'm such a nerd, I carry an iPhone too. So iPhone users out there don't have a heart attack. But one thing, it was a free application. But I take it, and if you guys can see this here and watch it, it measures the decibel levels of the room. I found out after walking around my room, checking the corners, that this was the quietest area of the room. So I knew this is where I wanted to put the setup. And then also this faces an external wall instead of an internal wall. External walls are going to have a little bit more insulation, which is going to help with the soundproofing, but also not piss off your neighbors if you live in an apartment or you're stay at home with mom and dad and you're starting out, or annoy your sister next door. So that is one reason why I chose the external wall. I could have done it back there, or I could have done it over here. I just decided on this position because I like being here with the door over there and having that behind me. That's just how I am. It's kind of easier. All my cable internet connections and everything are here. So that being said, we'll talk more about room acoustics and proper volume levels and everything coming up. The next thing we're going to talk about is what we call a condenser microphone. This is the most common microphone you see people recommend. I'm sure you've seen, if you've seen any YouTube videos of like Rihanna, Lady Gaga singing in a studio, these are what those microphones are designed for. These are more instrument, and I just realized I'm using my middle finger there. You happy? You happy? It's not my middle finger. These are more instrument microphones, more just straight mid-range, low end, capture a true kind of harmonic type of sound. This is a capture overall sound. The difference between this microphone that I've got right here and this Audio-Technica microphone is it's only truly got one axis, and that comes out from here. Think of it as like a a crescent shape expanding from right here on the microphone. Everywhere else, other than here, does not pick up. So it's going to pick up as far as its active, as we talked about, its active volume level, its active decibels. It's going to pick up everything. Everything you say, everything you do, everything you touch, it's going to pick up. And also, condenser microphones have a tendency to, how do I want to put this? Elevate the high end of your voice. So for those of you that are hi-fi techies or hi-fi geeks, anything really above the 5,000 hertz mark, it's going to take it from kind of like up here to up here. So that's why it's preferred by singers. And I'm not bashing on this mic. These are good microphones. I started doing my Let's Plays on this microphone. And in fact, when I have co-ops, they record on this microphone. The way to kind of counteract that is by this, putting a windscreen on it. And that helps reduce some of those high sounds and kind of help bring out the low end frequencies. And, it's a great way. Trying to think of, I believe Jesse Cox uses a voiceover microphone that's a condenser microphone. So that's your big difference. And if you really want to boil down to it, I'll tell you now, I'm not going to get into the long explanation of it, but it all boils down to the actual insides of how it's built, the difference between a condenser and dynamic and resistors and electronics and a bunch of BS that you just really don't want to hear about. I'll be honest. That's what it boils down to. But these are good mics. And in video number 2, you're going to hear a recording with mic A and mic B to hear the difference when you're doing vocal processing of what your voice can sound like. So back to the subject at hand here. And I know you see the vibration in the webcam. I was putting that back in the drawer for right now. The other thing you need to invest in, if you have a dynamic microphone per se that does not have a windscreen, like that on a per said microphone, or you have a condenser microphone like one of the USB snowballs or something like that, don't get me wrong, snowballs are great mics. I love the blue microphones. They are amazing. They're one of like my top 5 microphones. I've worked with several over the years. I decided on this microphone because it fit my voice, not because everybody else in Markiplier used it, but because it fit my voice. That's the key thing to remember when buying a microphone. It's about buying one that fits your voice. Go to Guitar Center, go to Musician's Friend, go to all the local music stores that carry this equipment near you if you have one near you and you have that availability. If not, go online, listen to the audio samples. All the mic manufacturers, most of the websites, they all have sample audio that you can listen to see what the microphone's going to sound like. But the ultimate test is being able to hear it in your own ears and see if that is how you want your voice to sound or not. Because if that is not how you want your voice to sound and you go out and you spend $300 on a microphone and you get it home and you hate your voice, guess what? Your viewers are going to hate your voice. Nobody's going to want to watch your channel because they're going to dislike the way your voice sounds because it does not sound like you. At the end of the day, we're all doing Let's Plays because we enjoy doing it. It's who we are. Why not represent that in both visual and audio format? Okay, I'm off my soapbox now. So you can even get windscreens as small as this for the handheld mics. Those are like you see it like PA vents, your principal holds, stuff like that when they're giving lectures. Those are also dynamic microphones. So your microphone should be as big of an investment. Second biggest investment, really. Well, and in fact, we'll include this. Your computer, your audio interface, and your microphone should be your biggest investments into any YouTube recording channel, whether it's Let's Plays, whether it's comedies, whether it's a vlog, whether it's you reading about puppy news of the cute little Spaniard running around. That's your investment. You think of it as equity and investment you're putting into yourself and your future. Don't think of it as money you're spending, but you're investing yourself. But that being said, you don't have to run out and spend top dollar for the best things, because sometimes the most expensive things are not the best. Understand that, iPhone people. I'm just kidding. I love my iPhone. But sometimes, the most expensive thing is not the best. That Audio Technica mic, the 3035, when I bought that, it was on sale at Guitar Center like 4 years ago for $50. But it's lasted me for 4 years and has been an amazing microphone for everything from audio recording to, voiceovers to radio jingles that I've done. So it works. So we're going to go ahead and move on now to some more of the essentials, the wants, if you want to call them. But first, we'll take this little drink break. All right. And we are back from our drink break and we're ready to dive into, I guess we'll call it episode 1.2 here. The continuation of the episode that we were in. Let's see here. So the next thing we're going to talk about is one of these bad babies with all these fancy knobs on it on the front and plugins on the back and a USB port somewhere over here, made out of metal. So what this is, it's called an audio interface. It's different than the sound card from Creative Labs that comes on your gaming PC. It's different than the USB plug. I'm thinking about pugs now. Plug and play drivers that actually come on your headsets and everything. It's designed. Think of it like your PC. It is designed to do nothing but deliver high quality audio representation to your computer. Some of them fit in PCI and PCIe slots. Some of them work via USB 2.0 and 2.3. I'm using currently now a Focusrite 6i6, which you can see. It's a good interface. It's great. It gives me 6 input and outputs and a multitude of controls. But there are a lot of different ones out there. Some of the brands that you want to stay away from are things like Behringer and Aphex and some of the cheap ones. If you're on a PC, I definitely recommend PreSonus, Focusrite. If you're looking to spend a higher dollar on Motu, RME, they all make great interfaces. The ones I've chosen because of either preamp quality or different things like that. And we'll get into preamps and later on here in this video. But it's about getting the best quality that you need. So let's take a look here. As far as, sorry, I got distracted. Thank you, Chesapeake and Stix01. You guys kind of got me distracted there in the chat. In IRC, note to self, next time when recording a tutorial video, don't be on the LPS chat. But you guys should come check out the LPS chat. We need more people in here. The same 4 people, we get kind of lonely of talking to each other. We kind of have the same conversation over and over. We need some new friends. Will you be my friend? Please come be my friend. Please come keep Chesapeake entertained. Anyways, so a few things that you need to think about in a audio interface. One is input amounts. In case you're going to want to plug in your guitar or your synthesizer keyboard or your electric piano or your drum machine and I just hit my microphone. Great. Yay. Just hit your 300 and something. Guys, laugh at me. That's the whole point of jokes. Laugh. Please don't take this seriously. Don't think I'm some anal oh, it's got to sound like this or it ain't going to ever work. No, I don't care. I'm doing this to get back to you guys to help you out. But you want the inputs. So if you want to record like your own guitar track for your YouTube outro slate or your YouTube intro that you use on your videos, or you have an extra microphone, which is over this way for me, that you want to actually bring in and, record, you want to be able to have those inputs to record them separately and control the gain, i.e. the volume of those, but record them to a program like Audacity, Ableton, GarageBand, whatever. So, main things to look for on an audio interface other than the inputs. A, you want at least 2 microphone inputs. You don't want an input like this for your microphone. This is called a TRS input. It will give you the most horribliest, shittiest, pardon my French, LPS sound to your microphone. It will not make a true representation of your voice or the audio that is actually coming out of, I guess, your microphone, if you want to say that. So you don't want that. You want these inputs, which are called XLR. That is X as in X-ray, L as in Lima, R as in Roger. That's what professional audio equipment uses. I've got a whole bunch of it over here from my DJ days and recording and still doing home recording, because it has a 3-prong adapter like you'll notice most microphones. And in fact, I can show you again what I'm talking about. You see how that has a 3-prong adapter? That is XLR. So it gives you a ground and then a left and a right. Where a TRS is like a standard headphone cord, and it has the ground and left and right built into rings, but still going through the same circuitry into your ears or into the microphone. And you don't want that because there's too much chance of electrical interference in the microphone and hum. And then you're going to have to go in to reduce hum and electrical hum. And that's a whole nother ball game. And if you have questions on that, if you understand exactly what I'm talking about when it comes to electrical hum, or you're dealing with it, please do not hesitate to send me a PM on the forums or add me on Skype. My Skype nickname is Mr. Boktai, all lowercase, one word, that is MRBOKTAI. So if you have any questions, or if any of you guys have any questions about the video or anything you've seen so far, hit me up. That's what I'm here for. I'm here to help you guys out. So the next thing that we're going to take a look at on the sound face is this little bitty button right there. Let me get it into the camera. Focus camera, focus. I know it's kind of blurry and I'm sorry about that. I need to get a high def, like handy cam for recording these vlogs instead of my nice little Logitech webcam. But that's called a 48 volt, aka a 48 phantom volt. A lot of microphones like this, the condenser microphone I showed you, any microphone that's pretty much going to plug in through an XLR port into an interface, you need that. And the reason is simple explanation. I've got 2 bottles of water right here. So when you plug in your microphone without running a 48 volt phantom volt, that the red liquid, that represents your volume level. Whether you have it cranked or not, that represents your volume level. So your microphone's not able to put out the gain amount, the volume level that you want. Now, with the 48 volt phantom power on to actually power the microphone, your volume level has gone to this. Now, which do you prefer? You want this, or do you want that little bitty amount? This, that little bitty amount. I think we're all going to choose this. So at that point, always look for an interface. And I'll tell you, most interfaces now, the ones that are recommended, they do come with it. So you don't even have to worry about finding one. Most of them have it. So Don't even fret about it. Really, don't fret about it. Most of them have it. Sometimes you have to buy a 48-volt phantom power adapter. Those are no more than 20-30 bucks. Just make sure you look for one that has a low noise floor, and I will talk about that here later. The next thing that we're going to talk about on the interface is you've got your gain knobs. So this is for microphone 2, which is this port right here. So that would be my buddy Stix01 talking while we're playing co-op in Gary's mod. I could control his volume if he was sitting right here beside me, or Chezik, or whoever wants to sit next to me, whoever's brave enough. And then volume 1 would be myself. I would be plugged in right here, and I could actually control my volume. The other knobs that are on here is there's a mixer knob on this specific interface. They're all different on interfaces. Some of them you can hear your microphone as long as the volume's turned up, whether you're playing a game or you're not playing a game or using your microphone or not. But this specific one is called an audio box by Personas. It allows you to turn directly over to the inputs or directly over to the sound being produced by your computer. So you can actually do a mix of it. Instead of having to turn down the overall volume right here, you can do a mix of the audio signal. That's kind of cool. Now, most of you are like, well, why you quit using that with Mr. Boktai? Because the preamps on the Focusrite are better. It gives me more decibel level lift, which I needed for this microphone when I bought it. This was okay for the condenser microphone I had, but I always keep this around because I use it in my mobile recording setup when I on the road, when I use my laptop, when I go to my father who plays video games. Yes, I admit it. My 56-year-old father plays video games with myself. Yes, we do, and we're recording videos together. So I take this with me so I can record videos for you guys. Don't you want videos? Yes, you do. Yes, we do. Yes, we do, Mr. Boktai. We want videos. Yes, we do. Okay. So thank you guys. I love you too. So that about does it for interfaces. That's really the gist of it. It's anything like another computer piece, but that needs to be your second big investment other than your computer. Your computer, and I'm going to have somebody do a video on computer parts and why you need to invest in this and what you need to focus on for Let's Play. I've got to schedule that with them. That'll be a later tutorial. But that needs to be the second biggest investment because that handles your audio processing for your video games, for your microphone, for your mom singing in the shower. I don't know. And yes, I know your mom sings in the shower, so I'm sorry. I know it's horrible. If I could send you earplugs through the internet, I would send you earplugs through the internet. So I'm sorry. So the next thing we're going to take a look at, we've already covered our microphones. So the next thing that would be important are these things right here. These are Sennheiser. I believe they're 280 Pros. Yes. These are fairly old. They're not the best of the best. They're not the highest end. I know a lot of people use a lot of different ones. This specific model of headphone, not necessarily the brand, but the model is called a closed back. So when I put it on and I'm playing Octodad, I'm playing Shadow Warrior, I'm playing Skyrim, I'm playing South Park, it cuts off all outside audio. Think about the Bose Quiet Comfort, or the Bose headsets. I always talk about the noise canceling. That's what these do. These are important for Let's Play recordings and games, especially when you have a high quality microphone in front of you with a high gain to record your voice. You don't want your game sounds and your voice sounds that you're hearing through the mic or through the headphones as you're monitoring yourself to leak into your microphone. Then you're up a creek without a paddle. You just got some bad juju going on and too much work to do for yourself. So this needs to be your next investment after your microphone, really. And I've got a cheaper pair that I keep around for people that come over. These right here, 80 bucks. Not even that. I think they were 40 bucks. They're Sony's. And they probably don't even sell at Walmart or Best Buy now. But you can find you guys are killing me. You can find closed back headphones pretty much anywhere. So, I mean that's a nutshell on headphones. Headphones, they all pretty much do the same. There's no one brand over the other. I just happen to like Sennheiser. I know people that like Pioneer, people that like Audio Technicas, people that like AKGs, people that use razors. I mean, PewDiePie uses razors. SteelSeries makes some. It's all up to preference and how you like it. I like these. The reason I have these is because of music production that I do. They're more flat sounding on the EQ level, but that's something we're not going to get into in this video as far as EQ level. Okay, guys, I promise. Not something we're going to get into. So let's check our friendly chat and see what everybody's talking about. Okay, and we're back. So we checked our chat. We said hi to our friends here. We may invite Sticks in on a video chat, but I don't know. We'll see later. Who knows? Who knows what I'm going to do? I never know what I'm going to do till I do it. So fourth most important investment you're going to make in your gaming rig is one of these lovely things. And I'm not talking about this yet. I'm talking about this. This is your mic cable. This is what feeds into your audio interface. Two simple rules on this. The cheaper, the shittier. I hate to use bad language. I know I use bad language in my videos, and this is for the forums, but I'm being honest. The cheaper, the crappier. There, I censored it. Because the cheaper it is, the more noise that's going to be transmitted along the wires as far as electricity wise from hum vibration in the springs or the sand or whatever you have it on. And then the connectivity from the hum of the interface, the electrical hum of it being plugged into the interface. Just the more crap you're going to have to deal with. And that was a dramatic pause. I wanted to make an impact here. So if you splurge on anything else other than your microphone, splurge on the cord. Try to get gold plated. This is actually silver plated, but with gold prongs. So those 3 prongs you remember you saw on the inside, they're actually gold plated in these. So I found that works best with this, works best with this, works best with what I've got because I have a hum eliminator in my setup that reduces the hum, electrical hum, so I'm not too worried about it. But a lot of you guys may not have that option or understand what that is, and that's not something I'm really going to get into at this point because this is an introductory video. If you do have questions, again, feel free to PM me on the forums or hit me up on Skype at Mr. Boktai. I'll answer those questions. I'll give recommendations. But the more you can spend on the cord, and I'm not saying go out and buy a $90 cord. Do your research. If a cord has high ratings, low impedance rate, remember that. Low impedance rate. That's what you want to look for because the impedance is what causes all that. And that's a whole bunch of math and all electroengineering and sound engineering. And if you want to understand that stuff, kids, stay in school, go to college, get a degree in audio engineering. So forgive me, I'm getting over a cold. So finally, the last investment you need to make when it comes to your Let's Play setup, as we've covered everything from our foam, our lovely, lovely foam, and soundproofing, to our computer, to our audio interface, to our microphone, to our headphones, is this bad boy. Now, you can get a swing arm. I like swing arms. I actually have 2 of them. Hello! I have 2 of them of the exact same because they allow a little bit more flexibility than your standard. Oh, wow. No. Do not make a joke of that. No, I do not need to see it. Yes, I need a GIF of that. Somebody make me a GIF for my profile, please. I really need a GIF of that. please give me a gif of that. But instead of like the traditional mic stands where you put it on your desk and you record, a lot of times when those stands are on your desk, they still pick up vibration from you hitting your keyboard and things like that, and pounding on your desk, or your neighbors walking upstairs, or your voice reflecting off of the table. But with a mic arm, you do have the flexibility. If you're not using it, for instance, like when I'm not recording, instead of it just always being my way, I can go, and it's out of my way. Or I can bring it back down to recording level and be ready to dive right into a video. So it's great for adjustment. So in this one right here, it's called a Rode PSA 1, $99. $99. Go cut 5 yards, you get $99. I mean, you can't beat that. $99, you got you a swing arm for your nice new microphone, for your nice new interface, for your nice new computer. Well, bam, you're in the next PewDiePie. Disclaimer here, I can't guarantee I'm going to make you the next PewDiePie. I'm just trying to help you guys out, help you build yourselves, because at the end of the day, we're all a community, whether we've got 1 million followers or 10 followers. Person that had 10 followers is just as strong as that person that has 1 million followers personality-wise. And don't forget that. You're not doing this for the people to subscribe to you. You're doing it because you want to, because you love it. That's it. That's why you want to do it. So on to the noise floor level, as we were talking about, I'll give a brief little synopsis of noise floor and preamps. The main thing I want to hit on really in this video is preamps. Preamps are what's inside the interface. These things right here that actually give a microphone its color, its power, its strength, its sound. So if you can afford to buy what's called a preamp on its own and run your microphone through that, then into your sound card, even the better. That's exactly what I do. If you can't, a lot of microphones work with the preamps that are inside the interfaces anyway. So if you push the volume level up, you can hear that preamp, that color. And the way we describe color is something goes from sounding very metallic to very warm sounding in the air. Think about an electric guitar. Think about how electric guitar sounds like if you just pluck the strings. It's like pling, 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 pling. But then you plug it into an amp and you crank up the bass and you crank up the mid-range on the amp and you play it. It has a warm tone to it. That's what a preamp does for your microphone. To summarize it all up in a layman's version. So preamps are always good. So always look for an interface that has a great preamp. And then the final thing we're going to talk about in this video, and we'll stop here for this video because it has been, like 40-something minutes or 30-something minutes of just information here for you guys. And I've been talking for so long, is noise floor. I lost my train of thought there. Noise floor, or noise level, as you hear some people say, or even noise, is how much noise your room makes. The more noise that's around you, like fans, air conditioners, ACs, cat meowing, people talking, TV in the next room, little sister yelling, that's all going to be picked up by your microphone. It truly will. It may be the slightest of volume, that's going to be picked up. So your noise floor, you want to take it from here. Let's say this is normal. You want to try to bring that threshold down a little bit. So, because let's say it here, and I'm going to get technical on you guys, so stay with me. Stay with me. I'm going to make it easy for you to understand, I promise. But let's say here, it's at 8 notch levels. Think of notch levels like a volume knob. You know how they each have a notch on your car? Like when you're looking at them or you're sliding them up and down. Let's say here it's at 8 notch levels. You want to, by soundproofing and doing everything right, bring that noise level down to here, which might be about 3 or 4 notch levels, because then that'll be low enough below the normal threshold of human hearing, but enough that you will be able to hear it in your post audio editing, and you can eliminate it because it'll be low enough and you'll be able to set your thresholds. And we'll cover that in the next video. So what we're going to do right now, this has been video 1, kind of covering some of the basics of setting up an audio recording for your Let's Play. I really do thank you guys for checking this video. And if you have any questions, again, I cannot stress enough, my Twitter, my Facebook are in the comments below and in the forum post. And if you want to hit me up on Skype, it is Mr. Boktai, all lowercase MRBOKA. Wow, I forgot how to spell my name. Somebody shoot me. It is MRBOKTAI. Or just send me a PM on the forums or reply to this thread. I'm on this thread 24/7. You know, Chesed can't get rid of me in the forums. I'm always there. So I'm here if you guys need me. So we're going to cut it here. I hope you guys have a great evening, and I will see you in part 2. We're going to take a short break, and we're going to record part 2. Part 2 we'll have no video. So this is the last you'll see of, stupid applesauce. Oh, and final tip. Applesauce or green apples before recording help your mouth salivate, which helps you have a better sound and you're able to pronunciate words better. Because when you have a dry mouth, you'll find that your words kind of slur together and you're just like half the time. But when you have that salivation from the applesauce or the, even a peach, strawberry, something kind of citric like that will help you guys out in your recording. I challenge you, try that once before making a recording and see how much of a difference your voice sounds. But until then, we're going to take a short break and we'll be back in the next episode.